The reading. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. The narrative. In the province of Sichuan, where the mountains rise like sleeping dragons draped in clouds, there lived a young scholar named Wei. He had spent 17 years in the capital, memorizing the classics, mastering the art of calligraphy, and earning the highest honors in the imperial examinations. His name was known in every tea house. His essays were copied by students across the empire. Yet Wei couldn't sleep. Each night he lay on his bamboo mat, staring at the wooden beams above him, feeling a hollow ache in his chest that no achievement could fill. He had named everything in his life: success, honor, reputation, and still something essential slipped through his fingers like water. One autumn morning, when the mist hung low over the rice paddies and the persimmons glowed orange on the branches, Wei abandoned his silk robes and set out on foot toward the western mountains. He had heard whispers of a hermit who lived near the source of the Min River, a woman so old that even the village elders could not remember her arrival. They called her the Silent One, for she had not spoken a word in 40 years. Wei climbed for 7 days. The path grew narrow, the air grew thin and cold. The sounds of civilization, the merchants' calls, the temple bells, the clatter of horses, faded into nothing. All that remained was the wind moving through the pine needles and the distant cry of a crane. On the 8th morning he found her. She sat outside a cave, her white hair falling loose over her shoulders, her hands wrapped around a clay cup of tea. Before her lay a simple inkstone, a brush, and a single sheet of rice paper, completely blank. She did not look up when Wei approached. She simply gestured to the earth beside her. Wei sat. He waited. Hours passed. The sun moved across the sky in its ancient arc. The shadows of the bamboo stretched and shortened and stretched again. Still she said nothing. Finally, Wei could bear it no longer. "Teacher," he said, his voice cracking from disuse, "I have come seeking the Tao. I have read every text. I have memorized every commentary. I have named every principle. And yet, I feel further from understanding than when I began." The old woman lifted her brush. She dipped it in the ink, and then, with infinite slowness, she brought the brush to the paper and stopped. She held it there, hovering, the ink gathering at the tip like a single black tear. She did not write. Wei watched, confused. "Teacher, why do you not write?" She looked at him then. Her eyes were like deep mountain pools, still and fathomless, and in that stillness Wei saw something he had never seen before, a presence beyond words, a knowing beyond names. The old woman set down the brush. She picked up her tea and took a single sip. The steam rose and vanished into the cold air, and Wei understood. The moment the brush touched the paper, the infinite would become finite. The nameless would receive a name. The Tao would become merely a word, a thing to be memorized, categorized, and filed away in the dusty archives of his mind. But here, in this suspended moment, in this space of not writing, everything remained possible. Everything remained whole. He began to weep, not from sadness, but from relief. For 17 years he had been grasping at the outer fringe, collecting names like a child collects pebbles, never realizing that the ocean itself could not be held. He stayed with the Silent One through the winter. She never spoke, and he learned to stop asking. Together they would sit and watch the snow fall, watch the plum blossoms open, watch the river carry its endless cargo of leaves and light toward the distant sea. When spring came, Wei descended the mountain. He returned to the world of names and forms, of duties and desires. But something had changed. He moved more slowly now. He spoke more gently. He held his achievements loosely, like a bird that might fly away at any moment. And when students asked him to explain the Tao, he would smile, pour them tea, and say nothing at all. The interpretation. This is the teaching that opens the Dao De Jing, and there is profound wisdom in its placement. Before you take a single step on this path, Laozi asks you to release your grip on certainty. The young scholar Wei represents all of us who have sought meaning through accumulation, more knowledge, more names, more definitions. We believe that if we can just label something, we can control it. If we can understand it, we can possess it. But the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. The Silent One's suspended brush captures this truth perfectly. She shows Wei that the mystery does not live in the writing. It lives in the space before the writing. It lives in the unnamed, the unformed, the unspoken. The moment we define something absolutely, we lose access to its infinite dimensions. When Laozi speaks of being without desire to sound the deep mystery, he does not mean we must become empty of all feeling. He means we must approach life without the grasping need to categorize and control. Wei's 17 years of naming brought him only to the outer fringe. His season of silence carried him toward the gate of all that is subtle and wonderful, the modern practice. So how does this ancient wisdom serve you today? First, practice the art of not knowing. The next time someone asks your opinion on a complex matter, politics, relationships, the meaning of life, allow yourself to say, I don't know. Notice how uncomfortable this feels. We are trained to have answers, to appear certain, to name everything quickly and decisively. But wisdom often lives in the pause before the answer. Let yourself linger there. Second, release your grip on your labels. You have named yourself many things. Your job title, your relationship status, your personality type, your political identity. These names are useful, but they are not you. They are the outer fringe. The real you exists in the unnamed space beneath these categories. Spend 5 minutes each morning simply sitting, breathing, and letting go of every label you have attached to yourself. What remains when the names fall away? Third, create space for mystery in your daily life. Our modern world is designed to eliminate uncertainty. We track our sleep, our steps, our calories. We demand immediate answers from our devices. We feel anxious when we don't know something instantly. This week, resist one urge to immediately search for an answer. Sit with a question. Let it breathe. Let it remain mysterious. You may find that something far deeper than an answer begins to emerge, a kind of knowing that cannot be named, yet feels more true than any fact. The gate of all that is subtle and wonderful stands open before you. You need only stop trying to name it. This has been Chapter 1 of the Dao De Jing. In the next video, we will explore the second chapter and put everything into a story and simple interpretation for daily lives. Click on the next video if you want to find out more about the philosophy of Dao De Jing.